How you guys doing today? Thank you guys. We've had some great responses to our tiny home videos. We want to thank you guys for responding, for liking, for subscribing. We're just a small little channel. We don't have a lot of viewers or a lot of subscribers, and so man, if we get 4 or 5 subscribers in a day, we're like, oh, look at that, because it's just neat. So we want to thank you guys for supporting that. Today I want to talk about potatoes and gardens in general. So I did a potato tower, and there'll be a recording at the end of this video for you guys to watch. But it was terrible windy, and we don't have any wind breaks up here. So a little bit of wind is a lot of bit of wind here. And I played the audio back whenever I was trying to edit the video, and the audio was absolutely awful. And so I am going to post it at the end of this video. That way you can at least see the process. You won't be able to hear the process, but you'll be able to see the process. I do want to show you kind of the finished product, what it looks like after our potatoes have been planted. And then I'll kind of describe what we did, and then we will go from there. And I want to talk a little bit after that about the importance of gardening and the importance of learning some foods that you can eat that maybe just grow naturally. So we're going to show you guys this real quick. Here is our potato. I call it a potato tower, but it's a little different than most of them that you see. A lot of your potato towers, if you look them up, it's like a 4x4 box, and like you can grow a 100-pound potato in a 4x4 box, right? And all that stuff, and you just keep adding dirt in layers as the plant grows. That concept I don't think is all that great, and I don't know that you can really grow that many. Maybe you can, I don't know. But to me, there's a lot of things that are really fail in that concept. This we've actually done one other time whenever I was younger and living with my folks. We did something similar to this. It worked pretty well, and I wanted to try it again, only with a few different things that we added. So here's an old bent up cattle panel that was in a junk pile here, and we just straightened it up. Anytime that you have animals and those kinds of things, you end up with stuff like this, right? It's not really good for the animal usage anymore, but maybe you can use it for something else. A circle is what we made at Decaturville. This is more like an egg shape, and then I just wired it together. When we go to get the potatoes out after they're done growing, I should be able to just cut these wires that are got it wired shut, open it up, and dig through this mess, and we'll explain what this mess is here in a little bit. Dig through this mess and be able to find the potatoes. That's the plan anyway. So down here you can see lots and lots of layers of hay, and if you look real close you can see the dirt. I've got the hay around the outside edge so it'll catch these panels and keep everything held in here. But basically what you have here is layers. So I start off with a real thick layer of hay, and then I put a layer of dirt in there, and then I sprinkled rabbit manure in with that dirt, and then I laid the potatoes down in there. Now the eyes of the potato are not pointing up to go straight up to the sky. They're actually pointing out so that they'll grow out of the panel, and as they grow out of the panel I can tie them back to this panel, kind of like a tomato, right? And then the hope is that the potatoes themselves will grow back through the hay and the straw and the little bit of dirt that's mixed in there. And they should be pretty easy to retrieve if they do. And so we just kept repeating that process. So after we did the dirt and we laid the potatoes in, we pointed the eyes outside the panel, we'd put another thick layer of hay, and it was old hay in an old hay barn here. I had a lot of dirt mixed into it. It was mostly like just broke down hay. And so it's just out of the floor of the hay barn, right? And so we would pile that in pretty thick because it's going to compress a lot. And then we'd put another layer of dirt in there, maybe 15 inches wide thing of dirt, all the way, not deep, but wide, right? And then some more rabbit manure, and then some more potatoes, and then another layer of hay. And then that was kind of the process as we went up through there. This very top layer up here has got straw in it, and it has got potatoes all the way across the top of it, with a layer of dirt all the way across the top, with rabbit manure mixed in. Now, I laid the rabbit manure in pretty thick, kind of along the inner part and all the way down through my thought process was this. If that manure is pretty thick in there, and as it rains and water leaches down through here, through all the hay and the straw and all that stuff, and the dirt, all the nutrients from the rabbit manure will be in the middle. So my hope is that the roots from those potato sprouts, when they start growing and growing other potatoes, those roots will hunt that nutrients that will be in the manure on the inside of the straw. And my hope is that this thing will have a whole bunch of potatoes on the inside of it when it's done. So there's a 50-pound sack of seed potatoes in here. I cut a bunch of them that could be cut. Some of them were just little bitty potatoes, and they only had like one eye that was already sprouting, and so I didn't cut them right. I just laid them in the whole potato. You can do it either way. And then over here, we have got some herbs planted in these little, they're fire rings. We got them at Tractor Supply, and we had some things we were wanting to do like in a raised bed also, and the cheapest way I could find was that, short of building something and using my own tin. But I've got plans for that tin that's over there, that scrap tin that we have, that don't involve gardening. They involve goats and those kinds of things. Now, all that being said, I do want to talk about gardening. I tried to, the other day in the wind, I tried to disc up. We've never had a garden here. And I tried to disc up a little area to go ahead and get our early stuff in, onions and radishes and lettuces and all that kind of stuff. However, it was still too wet even after I disced it up the other day before the rain. Now that we got the rain, it is kind of like a swamp out here, right? It's pretty muddy right now. So I still got some work to do. But I do want to talk about the importance of a garden this year. I don't know if you guys... How many of you really pay attention? And I may lose some of you here, and I get that. But how many of you may actually pay attention, right? There are real serious concerns about real serious food shortages this year. Like things that are actually being admitted by agencies that don't usually admit stuff, such as the UN or presidents or world leaders that are actually saying, hey, yeah, there's going to be shortages this year. If you have never grown a garden, I would encourage you, give it a shot, man. What are you going to really lose by trying something, even if it's just a pot on your back porch and you just grow a tomato plant, right? Is that going to make you survive? Well, maybe not, but it might help some, right? But it's something. It's a start, right? If you got a little area to put in a garden, put in a little bit of a garden, grow a few things, at least supplement your food supply with your gardening, right? I don't care how much money you have, I don't care how much money you make. You can have $1 million in the bank if there are 2 million or 5 million. If the stores don't have it to sell, you can't buy it. It's not going to be there. Even if steak got up to $100 a pound, right? And a nice little sirloin steak cost you $300 or whatever, right? That's great if you've got the money to spend on that kind of stuff, right? Got the extra money to spend. But what if they don't have the steak at all? What if they don't have the corn at all? What if they don't have that? And you think, well, that seems pretty unreasonable. Why would that happen? Well, I don't know if you've been paying much attention to the different wars around the world and the products that are produced in those regions and what those products are used for. Things like grain and feed. It's a lot more than just bread at your grocery store, right? So, guys, if you have never planted a garden, maybe you're scared to or whatever, once again, right, a huge part of our videos, to me, is making sure that you're just not scared to do things. So try it, right? Get in touch with somebody that knows how. Call your moms, your dads, your grandmas, your grandpas, somebody that might know how, aunts, uncles, that crazy guy that's your cousin that at the family things is always talking about crazy stuff and you think he's nutso, but he knows how to grow a garden, right? Give it a try, right? Get out and do something. Also, I want to say this. After talking with a couple just the other day, start learning. Please start learning. Just a few things at least that you can eat that grow naturally, that grow wildly, that you don't have to garden, right? That God has already gardened for you. Start learning a few of those wild edibles in your local region. I beg you, I plead with you, please, right? if you are a Christian, if you are a Bible-believing Christian, there are some things that we should know. We know the Bible says things are going to only get worse until it is that Christ returns, right? I know some of you believe in a what's called a pre-tribulation rapture, right? Even in that scenario, the Bible seems very clear that there will be famines and there will be sicknesses or pestilence before that even occurs, right? If you believe in that. If you don't believe in that, you believe that Christians are going to have to endure those things, then you also believe that things are going just to continue to get worse and worse. And the Bible calls them famines, right? All over the world, famines. Food shortages. This is something we're not accustomed to in the United States as a whole, right? There are people that are accustomed to it. But as a whole, most of you, you guys have a full belly most evenings when you go to bed, right? And so I want you to start learning, right? There's just a few plants that are really easy to identify, that are really easy to learn, and even if you just learn, let's say 5 of them in a month's time, right? Say you learn 5 plants in a month's time, that's at least 5 that you could go out and gather if times get hard enough that you need to, right? The reason why me and my wife started learning it was financially things got so tough for us for a while that we had to. We had to learn how to do things differently. And we are still trying to apply that, even though we are living in the tiny home that you can kind of see behind me back there. Right? We are still learning those, and we has already talked this winter about learning more. There's a bunch of plants that grow down by rivers that we don't really know, that we want to know, and add that to our knowledge. And if we never need it, that is awesome. But in case we do need it, it would be good to know at least a few things. So start learning about like plantain or dandelions or wood sorrel, or even just the wild onion that's so popular or so prevalent right now early in the spring, right? Identify that, go and learn about that, use it, cook with it, add it into a meal that you're already eating. This time of year we don't buy green onions, right? We just go outside, we pick out the onion grass or garlic grass or whatever it is, and we use it instead of green onions in our dishes. And you know what? It's delicious. It's really, really good. So, guys, please, please, please consider growing a garden, and please consider learning at least a few things that you can grow or that you can go gather if things were to get really bad or really hard or financially really struggle. Or I'm going to tell you this, even if right now things aren't that much different for you and you just struggle to make ends meet, right? Every single month it's just a battle. If you can start learning a few of those things now, it could go a long ways to helping you in the long run. If you can go and pick you a salad that you don't have to buy. How much is a bag of salad at the store, right? Take that off your grocery list now. You don't have to go buy a head of lettuce or a bag of salad. And it may not seem like much, but every little bit counts whenever you are strapped month to month. Whenever every single pay period that you have, and when you go to the bank to put your check in, or they put your check in for direct deposit or whatever, and there's only like 50 cents left in there, right, every single time, that's a stressful time. And if you can save $2 or $3, that's a big help, right? So start learning some of that stuff, please. I beg you. Stick along. I will show you the process, the rest of the process of our potato tower. The audio's terrible. I do apologize for that. It was really windy. I don't have a good enough microphone set up yet. The more popular our videos get, the more we may be able to do some of that kind of stuff. But I just run off the microphone that's on the video camera now. And so the wind is terrible, and I'm very sorry. The audio is going to be awful, and I'm very sorry. You might go ahead and just turn it off or turn it down, but you can at least see the process. Guys, thank you guys for liking. Thank you guys for your support so far. Please continue to like and subscribe to our page. Hit the little notification thing. That way you get notified every time our videos come up. All that good stuff. We appreciate you guys, and please don't be afraid. Just go after it. Learn about it. Most importantly, I've already mentioned this, I am a Christian. My family, me and my wife do the very best we can to follow God. Doesn't mean we're perfect. It means we are imperfect and we needed a perfect Savior, right? And we need a perfect Savior. If you don't know the Lord, I pray that you get to know Him really quickly. I pray that you understand that the Bible is being fulfilled right before your eyes. and hope and I pray that you turn to him before it's ever too late. All the knowledge in the world and all the food in the world will not save you from a devil's hell. So guys, thank you guys for watching. Please continue to the rest of the potatoes, the rest of the potato video, and we will show that to you guys. Once again, we thank you guys. What we've got is an old bent up cattle panel there that you can see. I just found one out of a junk pile that was here that my father-in-law had that was all twisted up. It wasn't good for much else, and I was able to kind of work it around and make a loop out of it, or more of an egg shape really, and wire it together. And this is going to be our, potato tower, kind of like a potato tower. So I have grown potatoes in tires, I've grown them in towers, I've grown them just in like a big deep deal with the tractor disc, and then grown them that way. I've grown them a few different ways. I've not really found a way that I'm just really happy with, except for, I know whenever I was younger and we did it this way with them yellow Yukons, it worked really well. And so I'm going back to that, but I'll show you guys kind of the details, if you will. So here you can see the potato here that we can put in, and the eyes of the potato are pointed up to the sky. The eyes are pointed out. So the thought process is the plant itself will go out of the potato tower, and then I can tie the plant up to the cattle panel as they grow up. And then that is just some old hay that is in there, and I got that old hay once again from my father-in-law's hay barn next to the house here. He's got a bunch of hay in there, and it's kind of an open barn, and there's a bunch of old hay just on the ground, and I'm just getting that old hay that's got all this dirt and stuff mixed into it. I've been in there for who knows how long, and I'm using that. And then if you look real close, you can see some rabbit fertilizer that is in there. And then there's a ring of dirt all the way around too where I've got the potatoes. That dirt I got from where I had to put the stair in to the front of the tiny house. We had to dig it out a little bit in front, and I just saved that dirt because it was pretty decent looking dirt. And we're using it for our potato tower here. Now, this isn't like the potato towers you see where somebody plants potatoes, right, and then they add, 4 foot of stuff on top of the plant. They just keep adding stuff. It's not like that at all. This is kind of a different concept than that, but I still call it a potato tower. It's probably the wrong name, I don't know. But this is what we're trying. Then, whenever the potatoes are done, right here where I have wired it together, I can just come through and snip that wire and open this up, and then we can dig through this mound of stuff, to get to the potatoes out. Now, also, once I do that, I can leave it open after we dig through it and get all the potatoes. Leave it open for our chickens to come through and tear down and eat all the bugs and stuff out of it. And then I can save all of that for next year's potato tower. So, hopefully, this will work. If not, it'll be our experiment that you get to learn from, right? So that's kind of what we're doing now today. Stick around. It won't be in this video, obviously, but later in the year, stick around, keep watching our videos, like and subscribe to our pages, and you will hopefully be able to see the results of this later on. I want to show you something else we've got. I bought a couple of these fire rings. I priced some cedar raised beds and these fire rings, and it was about as cheap just to get these, and I figure they'll last longer. So I got a couple of those. Me and the wife's been talking. We may every year purchase a couple of these. I don't know, 2, 4 of them, something like that. And my wife ordered a whole bunch of herbs that we're going to plant some herbs and stuff in those. I still got to do onions and lettuce and some of that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of work to be done. And I still got some stuff I need to do in the tiny house. The work's never done when you do this kind of stuff. It is I've said it before, it is a simple life, but it is not a lazy life, right? It keeps you busy, which is good. So I'm going to turn the camera off, get back to work, get back to talking to the Lord and trying to get caught up on some world events, because the world we live in is crazy, and working on this potato tower because it won't get done if I just keep talking. So we'll catch up to you guys later.